already know from my like resume that I have finished my PhD in mechanical engineering from Clemson University, like last May. So my background is like I had two different projects. So one was more centered on the for the funding, and another project was more centered for the my dissertation. So for the funding, I worked on two DOE projects. So initially, I worked on one DOE project for a year, and then like that was building a sensor theoretically, like theoretical modeling of a sensor. And then on the second DOE project, the latest DOE project that I worked on for the last 3.5 years was building a sensor model for a power plant. So that was the two projects that actually kind of fund me. And for dissertation, my background is kind of molecular atomistic modeling. So it's using the molecular dynamic density functional theory to characterize the fundamental of material. So kind of trying to get the fundamental properties of the material like thermal conductivity, mechanical strength, etc. So those are the two different directions that I worked on during my PhD. And before that, I did my undergrad in Bangladesh. So that was also in mechanical engineering. And during that time, I also did an internship at British American Tobacco Company for 3 months, 2.5 months. So that's everything like from my background.
Okay. And then let's talk specifically about your questions you have now.
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the question that I'm trying to like I've been trying to like go through different interviews and like for like 4 or 5 months, like particularly. So for 5 months, I've been going through different interviews and different positions. So the position that I have actually looked for is kind of thermal engineering position or thermal scientist positions. So like it's kind of not directly related to my graduate study or my undergrad, but they are kind of a different directions. So do you think like from my background, it would be a good direction to take? Because ultimately I have to learn wherever I go, right? So my question is like whether this is a good direction for me to move forward.
So let me ask you, you said you graduated last year, right?
No, this year, last month, actually that month before last month, so it's on
May, okay, you
May
got
12th, yeah.
and I assume since then or a little bit before you're looking for jobs, right? And that's where the
Yes.
whole struggle is, and you what I understood, that's what you want to talk about, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
So the struggle has been, let me understand correctly, not getting interviews or getting interviews, then not be able to um go all the way through the job,
Yeah.
and that's what it is, right? And
Mm.
so what you are thinking is diversify the way you are looking the job into other areas
Yeah.
and things like that. Okay. So let me ask you one question. Since you are from Bangladesh,
Mhm.
did you apply for the green card or no?
Not yet, not yet, but I'm planning to. Yeah, on in between, yes.
Yeah. So one thing I will suggest you, and I spoke to a lot of students who are from Bangladesh. I would say, and include Bangladesh and also from Iran. Um, I, my suggestion to you would be is this is the first thing you should do. This would help you extremely well, actually.
The
Yeah,
green card. Okay.
yeah. I don't know why you are delaying it or why you delayed, because I had a student actually who was doing, I was co-supervising her, She applied when she was in third year, and by the time I think she didn't even finish her PhD, she had a green card.
She might have some, like for our case, we need to have a degree from US. If someone has a like master's from US and doing their PhDs, so
You didn't get masters on the way from here?
no, I
Okay.
actually came here as a direct PhD. So I had to wait till the end of my PhD.
Okay.
Now I'm talking with the lawyers to
Okay.
get it
Okay.
evaluated. Yeah.
So number one is get your green card as soon as possible.
Mhm.
That's number one. Okay. Beside everything.
Yeah.
If you're planning to stay here, and if you're planning to get your if you're planning to stay in US and get a job here, that's very important. Okay. Because that will help eliminate that whole visa thing.
Yeah.
And number two is what I also understood is you are looking for an industry job, not towards academics, right?
Yeah. That's correct.
Yes. Okay. And I'm assuming you have OPT.
Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
Okay. What's the period? So you got already OPT? You already got OPT?
I have already applied, like it's been close to 70 days. So
Okay.
theoretically, I should get it like in next 10 or 15 days.
Okay. And when the OPT starts, how much time do you have that you want to have a job before you have to leave otherwise?
So I have 90 days, I think.
90 days. Okay. Okay. So I would say I mean I looked at your CV. I think the CV is fine. There is no problem with the CV. And one thing you have to understand is um this is not the good time to graduate also to to look
Yeah,
for a
I
job.
understand.
So
Okay.
and to be honest with you, it's not just you. When even I graduated, it was the same thing. It was housing crisis. So this happens all the time. It's not a
Yeah.
um. I would say do a couple of things. One is you want to, let's say if you know what your expertise is, right? So for
Yeah.
example, if you know how to do fluid dynamic simulation as an example, right?
Yeah.
In your CV or when you go Indeed or in LinkedIn or any job website, look for jobs which are where the people they are looking for are experts on fluid dynamics, simulation engineer or something.
Yeah. So on that one, I have a particular question.
Go
So,
ahead.
like for example, I have went for like few jobs that actually require undergrad in mechanical engineering plus 5 years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
So if I went like I've went like few cases like in the interview, they were saying like it happened actually twice.
Mm-hmm.
So they have said like you don't have any experience. So why should we hire you? So even if I try to say like in my graduate study, I did the same thing that you
Good.
might be
Yeah.
requiring, but they
Mhm.
do not consider that
Yeah.
graduate work as being the experience or something close to that. So
I mean,
they,
that is true that the school experience doesn't count towards industrial experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the question is like I did the same thing in my graduate study. I worked with different like professionals from GE or EPRI or even like Southern company. So we had collaboration with all those
Yeah,
professionals.
but you have to understand is the industry experience is very different.
Yeah, I understand.
It does not mean that you cannot do the job. That's how the norm is. I mean, the person who is hiring you has to be smart enough to understand how good you are, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
So
not
in that,
everybody on the and because somebody has the ability to make a decision whether they want to hire you or not doesn't mean that they are smart people.
okay. So I'm just trying to say like if there is a question arises about the experience, how should I tackle that part? Like, uh,
I mean, you can't lie. All you can do is make a case saying that I was see what industry really look for, to be honest with you, is a person, and I will give you a very honest answer on that. When you hire a person, whenever you hire a person, industry usually they are looking for a person who is energetic, who has leadership, whom they can see that this person is a leader. What I meant by leader is, for example, if it was, is it like I have to tell him all the time, do this, or he or she is going to come on its own saying that, "W- what can I do?" Do you understand my point? That is two
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things.
Take the
Same goes,
charge type of thing. Yeah.
yeah, take initiative, take in charge, take accountability,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
um so when you are what I'm saying is, when you are interviewing someone, beside a person that they look for has to be technically sound, your persona or your personality should come out as a person who is a problem solver, who does not fear of taking initiatives, who is a go-getter. My only question to you would be is, and I don't know you too much, I have met
Yeah.
you in last 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to ask that question to yourself, that when you interview, does that does your personality reflects that? And I'm not saying that um, that this is important criteria, but this becomes important criteria if your personality is going to come out as dull, as person who is perceived as a person, this guy doesn't look like he has an interest.
Yeah. Like kind of showing the interest during the interview. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
not only interest, the thing, and many times what happens is, like, when you are looking for a job, right? Sometimes you are looking for a job because it's not because you like the job, because it's a desperation for you to get the job, right? And
Yeah.
it's very easy for someone to then not be that interested, and but only but as I said, you are looking for a job because, especially for international students, you want to have something in your hand at the end of the day, right? So
Yeah. That's good.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure, let's say, for example, if there's a company a whom you think is one of the best companies that you want to work for, you will be extremely attentive, you would be more careful, you will be extra prepared. So that's how you have to take it. I will tell you one thing is, like, if you are interviewing and the a person on the other side, beside you are an excellent technical person, doesn't perceive you as one of those people, um, and on top of that they have to work on your visa and all that, right?
Yeah.
This becomes a very negative quality.
Yeah.
So this is just from the interview perspective, because many times that has happened is, because what happens when you come to an industry, you have to learn. I mean, nobody, I mean, for example, and I will give you my example. Every job that I went has nothing to do what I did in my PhD. Has nothing to do at all. Every time you have to go and learn new thing. And what happens is, let's say, for example, within company, right? You want
Mm.
to move from engineer to senior engineer, to manager, to senior manager, to director, to vice president. Do you think these are the people who get the job? Those who are selected for those jobs are the one that would like to play safe, or the people who are not afraid of doing something, right?
Yeah. That's the last later on. Yeah. Definitely.
So what I'm saying is, that's how you should be perceived. And that is very, very important. So when you go for an interview, just make sure that your CV says that technical is fine. Let me tell you, there's so many PhD graduates from, let's say, from mechanical engineering.
Mhm.
Just look at universities and look at how many people graduate, right?
That's a lot. Yeah.
So you are one of those people, and to be honest with you, everybody more or less is the same,
Yeah.
right? and
Yeah.
and and so what is, how you can distinguish yourself from them is more important, and how your CV distinguishes you differently from others
Yeah.
ones. So you can say, I have a very good publication. You can say, You know, I have won, I have done many leadership activities, I have done many awards. Beside that, everyone has a degree. Beside then, everyone has a GPA. So your
Yeah.
CV has to be a little bit different, with
Got
distinguishing
it.
from somebody else. And then, as I said, when you go for an interview, uh, let me tell you, I don't think that any interviewer will reject someone, or most likely will reject someone, when they say, hey, this guy is not able to solve a problem.
Got
It's
it.
how you approach a problem. They want to see, like, are you shy away of doing it, right? So make sure that you do all that thing when you go for an interview, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's important. And then, as I told you, that most of the good companies, if the job is posted, and coming to your answer, as let's say, for example, looking for an undergraduate with a 5 years of experience, and you are applying as a PhD, they're not going to entertain it.
Got it.
That's
Mm.
because, in my opinion, that's unethical. Unless and until no good company is gonna will undermine your degree. And let's say, for example, they will hire you. They will hire you as a PhD, and then they will not hire you in the same grade as undergrad. They will hire you at a higher grade.
Got it. Yeah.
So
That
any
makes
good
sense.
company will not do that. They don't do
Got
that.
it.
I will tell you, when I got interviewed for Lockheed Martin, at the end, when I got the job, they gave me one position higher they interviewed for, because they said, and I didn't ask for that. They said, because this was your experience and this was your degree. We
Got it.
cannot we cannot do that.
Got it. Yeah.
So I don't
That
think,
makes sense
I think,
actually. Yeah.
unless and until it's a mom and pop shop where they want to hire you, they can do whatever they want. But usually,
Yeah.
a good industry will never do that.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I understand now.
Yeah. So my question to you: when you are applying for those jobs, you can still apply. You may be lucky, but that's how I have seen it. That's number one. Number
Okay.
two is, as I said to you, and I have said that is many times, degree means nothing.
And
You have a PhD, I have a PhD. You have a master's, I have a master's. Y- It's the only day I felt proud of it is when I went for a hood ceremony. That's all, and it was done. My only question to you is, what do you know? That is the value. You understand my point?
yeah, yeah, being able to like
No,
demonstrate what I know. Yeah.
what do you know? In a technical term, I will tell you very specifically. Let's say there is a person A who is undergrad and can run MATLAB, and he is the champion of MATLAB. You give him a problem or her a problem, and he or she comes with a solution by using MATLAB, versus somebody who has a degree in a PhD in mechanical or whatever, and doesn't know, that person can't even write a single code. And if there is a job out there, let's say, if the job out there requires that skill, just imagine whom they're gonna hire. Who cares about degree? That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're
So,
trying to say.
yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, when you're writing your CV, make sure your skills become your strength, not your degree,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And the other thing I will also tell you, and this has happened after COVID, and there was a girl I remember posted this on her LinkedIn. I think she graduated from Berkeley or someone, and she said, it was difficult for me to get a position because I'm an experimentalist. You understand my point? So what I'm saying is, you have to have mm, soft skills or computational skills, and you should leverage that by doing so when you are applying for a job. And Rahman, like talking to you, I will tell you a couple of things, what I felt that probably that
Yeah.
will help you. One is, I don't think there is anything wrong with your knowledge or CV or something. Maybe you want to rework your CV. Sometimes I also tell people, you can have one CV which reflects you as a mechanical engineer. Let's say you are really good in you are really good or have a very good knowledge on fluid mechanics as an example. You have another CV which reflects you as a fluid engineer, because as a fluid mechanics you can work for aerospace company, you can work for automotive company, you can work for, you name it, actually, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, got it. Yeah,
So what happens is, then the person who is looking your CV is not looking it as a person who is graduated as a mechanical engineer, but this is a guy who knows, who have this amazing skill and can be applied anywhere, right?
yeah,
So, as I said, have multiple CVs which reflects different personality of yours or different skill set of yours when you're looking for a job, and the way you look for a job. And one of the thing also you have to understand is, these job websites, they don't do a good job in finding a job also, because every time you are typing certain keywords, and more or less it gives you back the same thing again and again. And then
yeah,
once in a blue moon you find it out, oh my god, this company has this job and I didn't see it,
yeah, got it.
right? So probably you want to do your job search analysis little bit more
From the
extensive.
company websites,
Yeah,
from the
from the
company
because
website.
not I don't think that every job that a company is posting is out there on Indeed or LinkedIn. I don't think so. And this has been a very big issue or very big problem. Even when I was in when I graduated, it's like I mean, it was like by luck you can find that, if you're lucky. So
And
just
even I found some like issue that I like kind of faced during this job search is that sometimes the LinkedIn or Indeed say this job has been posted in like a week ago or like 2 days ago, but
and
actually it's
it's
being
expired.
posted like
Yep. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it might have posted like a month ago or two
Yeah.
months ago.
I mean, I wish somebody can do a better job in job search application. I
Yeah,
don't think the websites we have right now, they do, their algorithm probably runs in our old ways. The way, I don't think the way these companies look for jobs or are posting a job has changed in last 10 years. Like technology has changed a lot. Like chat GPT has come and it has
yeah,
revolutionized. I don't think these job search has done a good job, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's beside the point. But then I will only tell you is, when you are going for a job interview, just make sure that you are there 100%, especially
got it.
if you like that job. And one thing I will say it again, before we end up this talk, is number one thing you should do is get your green card. That,
Yeah,
being from Bangladesh, this is I think the one of the best thing that you can have, that you can
yeah,
get your green card. Because I know, because I was from India and I know many students who are from there, they cannot do that.
I know.
So do that. I mean, if you have that opportunity, why you are wasting your time? Just that's the first thing you should do. Okay. And then as I said to you, I will, in a more positive note, I will tell you one thing is, it's been 20 years since I'm living in this country, and I had many friends. After that, I started career counseling and I talked to so many students. I have never find any person who haven't find a job. You understand? So that's a
Yeah,
positive.
yeah,
The what happens after you find a job, that's a separate story. But I don't know anyone who hasn't find a job. Only very few people. And I will tell you one story, and I don't want you to make that mistake, because that's a very grave mistake. I will tell you.
yeah.
I spoke to one student one time. He was from, if I'm not wrong, from Rice University,
Mm,
and he was so confident that he will find a job. So he applied for his PhD, and he was very confident. And what happened? He was not able to find a job, and ultimately that person has to go back. So I asked him. I said, and he called me from his hometown when he went back home. And I said, And he was saying, what can I do? I said, there's nothing you can do now. My point here is you don't want to be in that situation. So
Right.
what does that mean is, what that means is, number one, what is your plan A? Your plan A is, I am gonna look for a job in an industry. Always have a backup plan. What is plan B? And the safety net. What is the safety net? So that's what I said. The safety net is very important. That means apply for green card, because once you have a green card, you don't have to leave the country, at least, right?
Yeah,
And
that's correct.
you will have more opportunities, in so these are the contingencies that you have to take care of. So and I will tell you one of my stories, and a lot of my friends have that, as when they graduated in 2009 and 2008 was a housing crisis, right?
Yeah.
There were no jobs. I mean, it was a massacre in the industry. So what we did is we said we will go for a postdoc position. We did. And what happens after that? The career went fine, because it took 2 years for market to settle down, and everything was fine after that. So my question to you, be your own judge. What is my plan B, and what should I be doing?
So keep if I understand it correctly, like keep working on both plan A and plan B at the same time. Okay.
Or plan C?
Okay.
Because what's the guarantee that you're going to get a postdoc?
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
always have plan A. So you have, let's say, 12 productive hours in a day. Plan A can take your 5 hours. Plan B can take your 2 hours. Plan C can take your another 1 hour, right? But to say I'm gonna, because here's the thing. Just imagine 12 hours you are looking at a computer and looking for a job. How boring it can be after a while.
Yeah, that's correct.
People don't post jobs even that quickly. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So have plan A, plan B, plan C. Again, talk to your advisor. Said, hey, again, if you're looking for a postdoc, make sure you talk to your advisor, because he or
Yeah,
she will be the best person that can help you out.
yeah,
Right. So talk that out, and as I said, many times what happens, you feel like, I don't want to do this thing, but you end up going in a place which is really great. Let's say, for example, tomorrow you get a postdoc at MIT or Stanford or somewhere. It might change your life. Who knows?
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Right. So
We'll
make sure,
keep
as I said,
working.
yeah, so make sure you have plan A, B, and C. Work on your green card. That's very important, right?
Yeah,
And then, as I said, multiple CVs. These are the summaries I'm talking about,
yeah,
what we discussed, right? So make sure you have your multiple CVs out there, that you can search it out. And then, as I said to you, on a positive note, it trust me, it will turn out. Everything will be fine. Just a matter of time.
yeah. I'll try to work on that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
And
definitely try to work on those things.
yeah, yeah. And as I said, everything will be fine. So don't worry about that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So if I
Any
have
more questions? Yeah, go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
like I kind of have those questions. Like right now, all the interviews that I went through, most of the times they're like freeze the hire, or sometimes like that is what I felt like in past 5 months. Like either they freeze the hire in second step or third step, or like say it like we want an undergrad with a 5 years experience. Those are the things that I have kind of faced. Right now, I have a job. Like they haven't offered me yet, but they are saying they will offer me if they get good recommendation letter from my recommendations. So, like that is the only job that I have like at the fourth stage. Otherwise, most of the others are kind of
I mean,
frozen or something like that.
one thing I will tell you, Rahman, is once you graduate, you get a job. That job that you're gonna work on, and the company you are gonna work on, will become your future.
Yeah,
So so what I'm trying to tell you is, and this has been told to me many times, is don't rush for something if you don't feel it, but that's your call.
good, good. Yeah,
Sometimes desperate times force us to do things, which I understand, and
yeah,
everybody does that. But that's where uh, you as a person, and you as a person who has a strength, is going to come out.
Got it.
and that's what's going to decide your career. Because once you go to a job, you go to a company, what you did, where you came from, has no meaning, very
Got
less,
it.
and with time it fades down completely. So for example, tomorrow if I'm looking for a job, is not because I did PhD and this is what my research, I came from Lockheed and this is what I did. You
Mm.
understand my point? That's all.
Yes. Got it.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
be just make a very calculated decision.
I'll let you know, like if I have any updates or something like that. I'll definitely let you know.
Sure.
And
I think, as I said,
wish.
yeah, everything will be fine. I think you have done a good job in your CV. I think you have done some really good work. So congratulations for that, and congratulations for graduation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
it's a
also,
PhD is a tough cookie. Not everybody does that. So.
yeah, yeah, and also wish me luck.
Oh yeah, all the time. Wish you best of luck. And as you said, you don't need a luck, because as you said, you have done such a hard work, and it's just a matter of time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Be don't do, I The only advice I will say at the end is, just make sure that you won't make a decision out of impatience, or that would cost you much more at the end, that you deserve, right? And then trust me, in long run, if you look back this 10 years back, and mark my words, you will regret what decision you took out of desperation. You will not regret that you went through tough time.
Yeah, got it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for giving me the time.
Sure, no problem. Bye,
Bye
man.
bye.